All right, if I was to suddenly wake up 20 years old again and I had all the knowledge I have now as a young 30-year-old man, here are the 12, 13 things I'd be like reminding myself of, the 13 worst decisions you can make in your 20s. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. The first thing is you don't have time. It goes fast. When I was 20, I thought I had the whole world ahead of me. It starts flying by. The older you get, the faster it goes. I know that's like a cliche saying you hear sometimes, but it really feels like time speeds up the older you get. And when you're in your 20s, you think you have time to kind of just go through life, be on zombie mode, be on autopilot, just go with the crowd. You have time to have fun. You don't. It goes fast. You should have a goal, a purpose, something you're aiming for. If you don't hit it, at least you got something to aim towards. But don't waste your time. Don't be there just doing stuff everyone else is doing. Do stuff you want to do and be true to yourself. The second thing I would remind myself would be to take risks, especially growth assets. So when you're in your 20s, you might want to play it safe. You might want to kind of follow the crowd. Don't do that. Take the risk, take the ride, take a chance. Columbus did. Now, growth assets is something in your 20s, your dollar can go a long way. You have a lot of time for your money to compound. And if you're just kind of just joshing around and just buying safe stuff or not taking any risk, this is the time to take your risk. This is the time to buy something egregious. I'm not recommending like some crazy investments or anything like that. But if you buy like the S&P 500, that's like a standard investment, I would say. If you go to like the Dow Jones 100, you're getting a little more risk there. And a little more risk, a little more growth. There's a lot of stocks like that. Even like something like Bitcoin, you're taking more risks there. You in your 20s, I just think you don't need to be like playing it super safe. You have so much time for things to correct and balance out. Like dividend stocks is not something I'd be looking for in my 20s. When I was young and I did start investing, that was something I thought was like, oh, if I get dividends, I'm going to be paid every month. You can wait till you're older to readjust your portfolio. Take some risks when you're young, learn skills, make friends, build good habits. Now, the third thing I would do, and this leads into what I was just saying, would be to build my assets and my skills. And the first thing I wish I would have done when I was 20, even 18, start a Roth IRA. You can annually put in $7,500 now in the year of 2026. We'll probably see that number go up. But the Roth kind of forces you to invest for retirement. It forces you to save. And all the money you save is growing without capital gains tax. It really is a investment tool that's huge. The US government actually puts a cap on it because it's such an asset. And then the skills you want to build skills like outside of your job. You want to have things you can do for income, things you enjoy to do. Just don't be a guy that just goes to the 9 to 5, you clock in, and then after that you just watch Netflix and just chill. And then you live life on this routine of like just monotony. You want to be finding skills outside your job. Do a martial art, go to the gym, go to church, do something positive, do something, learn a new skill, learn woodworking, just something. I'm telling you, skills will go a long way in your 20s. If you sit there and you just consume content and just doom scroll after your 9 to 5 and you think you earned it because you did your 8 hours of work, that's something I would regret in my 20s. The fourth thing, and this one hits close to home, is like a bad career choice or a poor education. And I know all about this. When I was in university, I was going to originally do marketing. And about halfway through my marketing degree, I'm taking one of the higher up business classes, and we're learning from a textbook from the 80s about what an ATM machine is. And I was like just ready to just drop out right then and there. I didn't drop out. I changed my major, which might have been a worse decision, and I actually got a degree in philosophy, which was kind of asinine. They always say the only thing you can do with a philosophy degree is like talk about philosophy in the unemployment line. And I got a bunch of scholarships. I was lucky. I don't really owe much for my college. I don't owe anything at this point. But I kind of feel like I wasted my time there with some of those philosophy classes, especially because like in some of the later classes, we were just watching YouTube videos on philosophy. So I could have just learned this stuff at home from my computer. I think that's kind of how a lot of university classes are. I would just, if you're going to go to university, just make sure you're going for something that's going to pay itself off. Lawyer, doctor, something like that. Even like computer science is great. Another thing that's like underlooked right now is the trades. Like being a plumber gets you paid. You could lay pipe and get paid. Like there's good jobs out there. Being an electrician, a plumber, the trades are so undervalued for some reason. And the other thing is like a bad career. I've bounced around from a few careers. And what's ironic is I started right out of high school. I got my real estate license. I was selling a real estate. I was a licensed realtor at 18 years old, doing great in sales. And if I would have stuck with that, I probably would have had a lot more money. But I chose what I was more passionate about. So that's something I would avoid. A career is something to make you money. It's not always about what you're passionate about, or what you like to do. I still like sales. I still do sales. But if I would have just stuck with real estate, I'd probably be a little bit better off financially here. So that's number 4. Number 5, this is pretty common advice. You'll hear this. Just avoid vices. Don't get caught in the routine of like, I'm going out to the club or the bar. Everyone's going out tonight. Because that's a slippery slope. You start having a drink a couple times on the weekend. Suddenly it becomes something where you had a long day at work. You want to drink, even like smoking, drinking, drugs, all that kind of stuff. If you can avoid your vices, that's going to set you up in the future, especially in your 20s. That's when your habits are built. It's a lot easier to stop a habit early than stop one after years of doing it. And smoking something is just like a waste of time. You're literally burning your paycheck when you smoke weed or anything like that. So avoid your vices, avoid smoking weed, avoid going out every weekend. I'm not saying don't do that stuff at all. You should live your life. You should have fun. But don't make it a vice. Don't make it something that you're chained to. And the best way to do that is just straight up avoid it. If you don't drink, you don't go out, you don't smoke, you don't do all that negative stuff, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run, and you're going to save a lot of time. And money, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And like I said, for number 1, it does go fast. So that's number 5. Let's jump down to number 6. The 6th thing for your 20s, the worst decision you can make, is don't rush into a relationship. And this is huge. Now, I never had this problem, but I had friends that like getting married and getting into a relationship for them, that was like something for them to check off the list, like a to-do list or something. And they kind of just like found the first girl that gave them attention and just ran with it. And now I'm looking at them and yeah, it's not something I would do. You want to make sure you're set aligned with like your goals, how you want to parent, how you want to raise kids. If you're just jumping on the first girl you met, whether it's like a one-night stand or just out of desperation, I really recommend work on yourself first. I know it sounds cliche. Build yourself up, build up some wealth, build up some money, figure out what you want to do, how you want to parent, and then go from there. You don't need to rush into a relationship, especially when you're in your 20s. The right one will come around. I think the more you focus on yourself, the more women do come into your life. But if you're out there trying to force something, trying to check it off a list, like a to-do list, you're going to end up attracting desperation. I'll keep that one short and simple. Just don't rush into a relationship. Number 7, and this is any point in your life, this is something you should avoid. Avoid prison, jail. I'm talking like DUIs, selling drugs, trapping, even like getting in fights, small things like this. It's not worth it. It's never worth your time. Buy the Uber, get a job. You don't have to trap. You're not part of the cartel. Just avoid legal troubles at all costs. I had a friend, he went out at a bar. He did something stupid. He didn't hurt anyone, but he destroyed some property while he was there. He was showing off some cool kicks he learned, and he ended up with a $10K lawyer bill, and he was just about to get married, and this was like a big burden on their wedding. It was like right before the wedding. It was kind of a funny story looking back. Like it was the night before the wedding. He ended up getting into jail. But this kind of stuff is just like, just keep your head on straight, especially if you're out drinking with friends. Don't get peer pressure into stupid stuff. And that's why avoiding vices in the first place is probably a good idea. That's going to save you from a lot of stupid stuff in the first place. So avoid legal trouble. That's number 7. Now, number 8, don't get stuck following the crowd. Don't be a zombie in life. You got to do what you want to do. You got to be authentic. And I'm not saying just do what's passionate, but don't follow the typical advice everyone gives. Otherwise, you're going to end up average like everyone else. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But A lot of people, they zombie through life. They clock into a 9 to 5, and then they spend the rest of the day just doom scrolling or watching stuff on Netflix. Read a book, do something different. Like you need to not be a zombie through life. You don't want to live your life on autopilot. And the more you do that, the more you get stuck in a routine like that, the faster it's going to go. I'm telling you. If you just live your life on autopilot, you're going to regret it. 10 years are going to pass by, and you're going to think, what have I done? What was going on? So that's number 8. I'm going to say just don't follow the crowd. Don't zombie your way through life. Don't go NPC mode. You got to be the main character of your life, and you got this. Number 9 is output beats potential. The harder you work, the more it's going to get done. Now, there's going to be people that have more potential, better naturally, more naturally gifted. That's fine. That's life. But the output, the work you put in, it's going to beat potential every time. And you can't beat that. So try to get disciplined with what you want to do. If you have a side hustle, if you have a goal in mind, your discipline towards that goal is really going to beat any kind of person that just has a lot of potential starting out. A lot of the time, potential is a curse because it's like you're so good at it at first, you kind of just shrug things off later, and you don't build discipline. So if I was in my 20s again, that's something I'd want to really take account of, is how much output beats potential, and how important discipline is. This is where something like going to the gym, going to a workout class, doing a martial art, sign up at a jiu-jitsu school, kickboxing, Muay Thai, something like this is going to be a game changer for you. When you're doing something difficult that you really probably don't want to do most of the times, but you disciplined yourself enough to make yourself go to it, it's going to give you this iron edge in life. You're going to be able to outcompete and outwork people all around you. So number 9 is output beats potential. Now number 10, this is something I wish I knew earlier. I was kind of just like friends with everyone, and this is probably one of the worst decisions you can make in your 20s. Be selective with your friends and don't be a yes man. You don't need to be friends with everyone. You don't need to say yes every time someone invites you out. It's okay to say no. It might feel awkward at the time, but being selective with your friends really goes a long way. There's that cliche saying that, like, show me your 5 friends and I'll show you where you're going to be in 5 years. And it really is like that. You want to be around people that are growth-minded if you want to grow. If you want to be stagnant, be around stagnant people. But really be selective with who you hang out with. It's going to make a big difference. And I'm not just talking to your friends. I'm talking to your partners, people you socialize with. So if you want to be growth-minded, if you want to invest and do better, you need to surround yourself with investors. So just be selective with who your friends are. Don't be a yes man. You don't got to say yes to every time someone wants to go grab a beer or a drink. You can say no. Man up. And number 11. This is like something I see a lot when people start making a little bit of money. You got that first job, you're feeling good, you got bills to pay, and you get a raise at your job. Well, then you get this thing called lifestyle creep, where all of a sudden you're making more money, so you got to spend a little more money now. Now you need a newer car, you go sign up for the lease, and you don't realize it, but you're broke, and you're signing up for a lease. And that lease gives you like the golden handcuffs phenomenon, where now you're living on debt. You're living stuck in a job you hate. You can't leave the job because you have bills to pay. You have a car payment and a mortgage, and you're just tied down by that. So just because you start making more money, don't let your lifestyle creep up. You don't got to keep up with the Joneses. You don't got to sign up for the lease and get the newer, nicer car because you made a little more money or you got a bonus. What I would be doing in my 20s would be investing that money. Like I mentioned earlier, the Roth is a great place to start. If you don't know much about investing, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but instead of like spending every extra dollar you get, if you put some away, maybe save some and invest some. One good rule of thumb is if for every 75 cents or every dollar you make, 75 cents you get to spend, 15 cents you get to invest, and 10 cents you save. Something like that. And you can save in a high yield savings account, and then you can invest in something like the S&P 500. Just something I would have redone if I was in my 20s again. So number 12, this is something I saw a lot. I saw a bunch of friends who graduated high school or college, and they would just do nothing. So don't do nothing. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. People get too comfortable, especially in their 20s. They get a job, they clock into the 9 to 5, and then that's it. They're content with that. They're comfortable. They get fat. They're on the couch. You gotta do stuff. You don't want to be one of these guys that just clocks in every day, 9 to 5. Oh, another day, another dollar. That is not me. That is not who I wanted to be in my 20s. And I really recommend against that because it's going to make the time go fast. That monotony and routine of just doing nothing and doing the same thing every day, it's going to get you stuck. And the other thing is analysis paralysis. Sometimes people be thinking so much they can't make a decision. Just do something. Take the chance, especially in your 20s. This is the time to jump around a little bit, try some different things. Maybe you lose some money here and there, but you learned a lot. You're going to learn lessons in your 20s. A lesson in your 20s is way better than a big financial mistake later in life. So number 12, don't do nothing, and don't be a victim to analysis paralysis. Be out there making moves happen. Make something happen. Make a choice. And that's the last one we got here. It kind of falls in line with don't do nothing. But you want to get out of the house and you want to go do things. And I'm not talking about just going to the bar or the club. I mean, join a club, do a martial art, go to the gym, join a church. Just go do stuff. Go out there and there's so much stuff to do, and everyone gets stuck inside at a computer or in front of a screen watching Netflix or just doom scrolling all day. And there's life to live. The 20s is your time to do stuff. I mean, you're not usually bound by a family or a big mortgage at this point in your life. You have a little more time. You got more energy in your 20s. This is when you need to go out there and be experiencing stuff, traveling, doing road trips. This is the time to do that stuff. Take some chances. Go out there, make some friends, meet some new people. There's this big thing going on about third spaces. I don't really like that term. Just go do stuff. Go find friends. Go make friends. Go to workout classes. You don't got to be stuck at home all day being a homebody. And I'm a victim of that. I loved staying at home, especially in my 20s. But that just gets old fast, and you're not growing at all when you're doing that. You're being complacent. You're being too comfortable. So that's the last one of the worst decisions for your 20s is get out of your house and go do some things. Take a chance. Columbus did. That's all I got for today. If you made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that likes, give me a subscribe, leave a comment if you got any questions. Thank you.